Adam Johnson, the man photographed taking the House Speaker's lectern during the Capitol riot, is out on bond. It is out on bond. His attorneys are David Bigney and Dan Eckhart, and they join us now.
Chris, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate you giving us the opportunity to speak about our client, Adam Johnson.
You were a federal prosecutor, you were a federal agent. Everybody has a right to a defense. They don't have a right to you as counsel.
Why does this man deserve your level of defense?
Chris, that's a great question. Again, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity just to talk through a little bit. I mean, you know, Mr. Johnson has the right, as you know, you're an attorney as anybody else that's, you know, a member of this society. That's one of the beautiful things about the United States. You have the right to counsel. And, you know, myself and Mr. Bigney feel like we are going to represent our client to the fullest extent of the law.
I know you will. Why does he deserve your help in this situation? He has no right to your help. What do you know about him that makes you feel that there are redeeming characteristics to who he is and what he did, sir?
You know, you always can't judge a book by its cover, so to speak. So you've got the photos and you've got a lot of things on social media where they're demonizing Mr. Johnson. It's just really a mischaracterization.
Adam Johnson, the man photographed taking the House Speaker's lectern during the Capitol riot, is out on bond. Is out on bond after appearing before a Tampa federal judge. He now faces 3 charges: 1 count of knowingly entering or remaining in any restricted building or grounds without lawful authority, 1 count of theft of government property, and 1 count of violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds. He got out on bail, so I hope he's not part of one of these groups that's planning to do this again. His attorneys are David Bigney and Dan Eckhart, and they join us now.
Chris, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate you giving us the opportunity to speak about our client, Adam Johnson.
Now, Dan, you have a very prestigious pedigree. You were a federal prosecutor, you were a federal agent. Everybody has a right to a defense. They don't have a right to you as counsel. Why does this man deserve your level of defense?
Chris, that's a great question. Again, I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity just to talk through a little bit. I mean, you know, Mr. Johnson has the right, as you know, you're an attorney as anybody else that's, you know, a member of this society. That's one of the beautiful things about the United States. You have the right to counsel. And, you know, myself and Mr. Big, and we feel like we are going to represent our client to the fullest extent of the law.
I know you will. But I'm saying, why does he deserve your help in this situation? He has no right to your help. What do you know about him that makes you feel that there are redeeming characteristics to who he is and what he did, sir?
Well, I'll tell you one of the things, Chris. You know, to be honest with you, I'll tell you one of the things, Chris. You know, you always can't judge a book by its cover, so to speak. So you've got the photos and you've got a lot of things on social media where they're demonizing Mr. Johnson, mischaracterization, and it's just really a mischaracterization. I mean, he's a family man. You know, his wife is a physician. He's got 5 children. There's nothing in his background or his past that would attribute any type of violence or you know, this type of, you know, rebellious type behavior to him. So it's an anomaly. It's an unusual situation for him.
He was there to witness a little bit of history. He wasn't involved in any coup. He wasn't involved in any planning of any entering of the Capitol.
So
things got out of hand. You saw the pictures. But no, he was not there for any destruction, any treason. He was just there to witness history.
Can we move on?
All right. So now we turn to where being 2-on-1 does not become an advantage. The guy did it. He's obviously in there. He was in there with a pack of savages who were trying to find and target members of Congress and do terrible things, did terrible things. He's smiling his ass off while he takes a lectern. What is any rationale for him not being guilty, Dan?
Well,
oh, sorry. I'm calling you a different name to protect you for the fact that you're representing this guy in the first place. No, I'm kidding. But why should we have any kind of sympathy for this cat when he was part of one of the worst acts in American modern history?
Well, look, a couple of things. First of all, we've gotten to know him a little bit over the last week or so. He is not the guy that's being portrayed on the media. We're here to defend him. He's got his constitutional rights, and we're here to protect them. As far as him going in, you've got to realize that the Capitol is in theory one of the most secure buildings in the country. There's cameras everywhere. That being said, I'm pretty certain that the government, that the U.S. Attorney's Office, that they have looked at the videos. They have had an opportunity to see every step that he took from the time that his his entire involvement in this case. Yet he's out today. He's at home. He's with his wife. He's with his 5 children. And it's not because he's a threat to the country, and it's not because he's a flight risk. So you've got to think that if he was that type of threat, or if the government really thought that he was involved in some sort of coup, then he'd probably still be incarcerated right now.
But that's what goes to my first question, David, which is, why are you representing him? I think you're why he got bond. Because when you have really talented lawyers, they can work the system. And Dan, the problem for you is the picture. The guy has the lectern. He went in there. He took it. Nobody forced him to go in there and take it. And he was with a group of people that were trying to perform a coup. I mean, what's the upside for this guy? Why does he deserve bond or anything else?
Well, the upside, Chris, again, there's different levels of culpability in this situation. I mean, you had a mass crowd, hundreds, thousands of people. And so, I've seen the same videos. I mean, I've been watching you on CNN. I mean, I've seen these videos of these people that are fighting with law enforcement, and they're destroying property, and they're the tip of the spear. That's not our guy.
Senator, that is absolutely not true.
Our guy is pro-law enforcement. He's pro-government. I mean, he's not that guy. And so you're going to have different levels of all these people that are being charged and indicted. And our guy is not one of the violent, disruptive people that wants to, in your words, overthrow the government. He's just not that person. That's why he deserves our representation.
David, he's not one of those people. He did exactly the same things. He broke in to the U.S. Capitol. He went where he wasn't supposed to be. He stole something that he knows isn't his, and he loved it.
Well, there's a big difference between him and the people that actually broke into the U.S. Capitol. I don't believe there's any evidence that he did any damage to anything, that he forced his way into a building. Looking at your own website today, it's clear that there was no security prohibiting the entry of a lot of the people that went in. So he was not one of those people that was forcing anything.
But he knew he wasn't supposed to go in, David.
Well, but that wasn't your question. Your question was, he started out with he had forced his way in, and that's not what happened.
David, he knew he wasn't supposed to go in. He knew he wasn't supposed to take that lectern.
Well, that being said, what you've seen is a picture. You've seen a picture of one instant.
Did somebody force it into his hands, Dan? Did somebody tell him at gunpoint, you take this lectern or we're coming for your kids? What am I missing?
Chris, I made a mistake during the initial questioning where somebody did point out, hey, there's a photograph. Appears to be a photograph of your guy reportedly in the Capitol with a lectern. And I, said something effective.
I'm not a magician.
Meaning, we can't make that evidence disappear. There's certain things in this case, and David will opine in, that we can't run with. And I think, those are things that we have to live with and we're going to have to deal with. But what we're trying to say is you have a picture of a man in the Capitol with what appears to be a lectern, or appears to be in the Capitol with a lectern. That's a far cry from the people that you see that are fighting with law enforcement, that are assaulting law enforcement, that are, again, at the tip of the spear, where there's thousands of people that are, in this mob, so to speak. So
here's my worry, and I'm very slow to say this to you, David. I don't know your background as well. I even got your name wrong, but I'll blame myself for that later. I got COVID brain. I apologize to you, brother. It wasn't done out of disrespect. But Dan, here's why I'm not coming at you the way I would some other people, because of your service. Here's the concern. We're looking at more of this, and we're looking at people feeling emboldened by what happened on Wednesday. And this fool has been all over the place, smiling as the picture of exactly who you want to be if you're a big Trumper. And I'm worried that him getting bond sends the message that it's not that bad. You should try to do it too. Are you worried about that?
He's not all over the place smiling. His picture of one instant is all over the place. So he's not putting himself out there with the big smiles. He's not doing any self-promotion. He's not sending out treasonous messages. You've got a picture of him.
I do have to point out, I mean, the level of threats against him and his family have been unprecedented, and I do have to commend law enforcement. FBI has been working with us all throughout the weekend. I mean, there's demonstrated threats against his wife and his family. They had nothing to do with this. So that's the other side of it. I mean, as you know, we're in a fractured society right now. So we have people that are obviously very hateful of our client, and so they're making death threats against him and his family, which law enforcement is taking very seriously.
Well, he didn't help his cause by what he decided to become part of. And look, I'll tell you this much. He's lucky he's got you guys, and he's lucky that his wife has been working, making that doctor money to afford representation like you. Otherwise, he may be staring at the inside even longer than he is looking at him.